Back in Norway?
Yeah, it's interesting to come home while the whole society has shut down. So yeah.
I don't think we got to explain everybody what happened, but you didn't get to see us with a private driver in Valencia because you left early in the morning.
Yeah, so I started fearing that I wouldn't be able to get to Alicante in time for my flight, which was correct. So I had to take a taxi from the hotel we stayed at last night. For 2 hours, I was in that cab to get to my flight. So yeah, I didn't have the pleasure.
Well, I guess it was a good thing. Was not the view that anybody else of us hoped for. I think so. Wasn't necessarily the most fun thing. I have to say that I've always heard this thing about that you're not supposed to tow an electric vehicle. There's some sort of limitations there. You should be careful with that. And all of a sudden, I came to think about this when I understood that this towing guy had no idea what kind of car it was, or that it was an electric or anything like that. I got kind of a little bit scared. So all of a sudden, I just had to say, "Stop! Wait! I need to bring out the manual here." And I brought out the manual and read everything, and I found out that worked pretty much the same way as with a traditional car. Can we drive the Taycan through Europe? What do you think?
Yeah. Northern Europe is, as far as I could see, ready for electric cars. And I'm talking about from the middle of Germany and up. So Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, everything went fine. Except that maybe we could have had a better route planner. Everything went fine until around we were Frankfurt.
Yeah, and I guess
everything started to fall apart.
I guess also northern, even one of the first chargers in Germany, but that was. I'm not sure if that was. We don't basically know if it's the lack of the charging network or if it was the Porsche charge planner that just took us to the completely
wrong chargers.
Wrong charger, yeah.
Yeah, because the Ionity chargers were perfect, extremely fast, and when we had them, everything was fine. They were really fast. So, and you get. I guess, like, we drove kind of active. We didn't, so we used a lot of power, I guess.
Yeah, but
acceleration, which you probably wouldn't do if you were thinking about range, I guess.
If you think about range, I totally agree. But I think you floored it once. That was in the middle of the night, just before we parked at the hotel. I floored it twice the next morning, and after that we decided not to do that too much. But anyways, I don't feel too embarrassed about that either, because it's a sports car and it's part of the marketing that you're supposed to be able to drive it active. It's a German car. It's built for German roads. No speed limits, right? As long as you're within the comfort level of both you and the car, I think this car should be driven exactly the way that we drove it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I have to say that it was mainly just up until Frankfurt that we did that, and after that we drove like old aunties.
You were asleep for a while there, but we were kind of stable around 20, 30 above the speed limit for a while there, but there was no problem. So we didn't drive crazy, and in Spain and the south of France, we drove like, that car is built for driving faster than we did. Yeah.
That's a nice way to put it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the car, I can start. I would have to say that it is. I've had the pleasure to have a lot of very nice cars over the years. I love to drive. I drive a lot. And I have to say, hands down, that I think this is the best drive I've had. It's nice and sporty. You have the space. At the same time, you feel like you almost drive a 911. You have all the power available. You sit low. I think it's from a driving perspective, as long as you have power, as long as you have the juice, it's an extremely good car.
Totally agree. The car is one of the best cars I've driven. I really love cars as well. I'm in a car right now. I have been all day.
Are you in the Tesla, by the way? Are you in the Tesla or the 911?
This is my 911.
Ah.
No.
Sorry.
No. I choose this 99 out of 100 times. Even though it's an old car. No, it looks amazing. It looks almost like a supercar. It's so low, and you get, it just feels good. Looks so great. It is spacious. Like in the front, we've been in a car with 3 people for like 42 hours straight, and it feels so comfortable and spacious inside, and you have plenty of room for your luggage, and it's extremely good to drive. The only thing I miss, of course, is the sound. But so the main reason for me to join you on this trip was to experience the driving. Like, I wasn't that much into the charging and everything, the network on that, as you know. My main goal was to drive this car through Europe and just see how it felt. And it felt just amazing. And for me, living in Norway, driving from Bergen to Oslo, maybe to Trondheim, Stavanger once in a while, up to the mountains, to Sweden from time to time, and to Denmark, Germany, like once every 4 years, it would be a great car. It's on the top of my list right now.
Yeah, because we have to admit,
the economy.
We have to admit one thing, and that is that a trip like the one we did is not exactly something you do every day. It's you have to look into the usage of the car and what is your exact needs. I think
if I was to drive to Italy, I would probably like trade cars with a friend or something for 2 weeks.
Or take the 911.
I guess he would, or she would say, yeah. Sorry, interrupted.
I would have to say that from my user's perspective, something that I'm definitely looking into is that from time to time, I'm based a lot here in where we are right now in La Manga Club. I work a lot from offices in Malaga, and once in a while I need also to go to Barcelona, maybe 2-3 times a year, and I typically drive there. I also go to Valencia a bit, so I need to cover these distances. And I would have to say that right now, going from Barcelona to here, I would have to charge full at least 2 times. Going to Malaga, I would probably make it with a quick 15-minute stopover, but I would need a charger as soon as I come to Malaga. So for me, it would at least at this point in time, be something that I would have to invest in. I would have to invest time, think about my trips, prepare for the trips. I can mention one example right now. I was driving the airport. Alicante airport is 1 hour. It's 125 kilometers from here. I was driving Alex up there and going back 250 kilometers. I had to take the Panamera because there wasn't enough juice in the Taycan. So,
have you charged it at home now since you came down?
I have, but I have to say
how long will it take?
I took it off charging for a bit because I cleaned it. We filmed a little bit yesterday, and then I plugged it back in. Something has happened. I'm not going to. I'm not sure if it's my fault or the car, but it has stopped charging at 55% for some reason this morning. If it hadn't been for that, it would probably be full. So there's something with the programming of the charging profiles or something that I need to look into. So I won't blame the car for that. But anywho, I would have a problem today driving Alex. So either he would have to take a taxi, or fortunately I had the option of taking the Panamera, so that solved itself. But I mean, that's not something you can do normally.
Not everybody has a Panamera as a backup car, no. No. That's not the one.
we probably can admit that. I think that driving on the Autobahn in Germany, I love to drive, and I normally drive for at least 4, maybe even 5 hours before I stop. So when I've driven the Panamera down here 2 times, or I've driven 3 different cars down here. And the way I drive is that normally I stop whenever I need fuel, and normally it will take you at least 500-600 kilometers, right, before you need to refuel and take a short break. So that's, for me, that's the perfect distance. Drive at least 3.5, 4, maybe even 4.5 hours before stopping. And the Taycan on the Autobahn, we were driving for about 1.5 hours. I think, to be fair, that if the superchargers had been closer together, we could have pushed that, because we very often arrived at the supercharger. Sorry, I'm saying supercharger, that's probably a Tesla name, but we arrived at the charger, at the Ionity charger, or whatever charger, normally with almost maybe 35%, very often. And that's due to the distance, I think, between the chargers. So we could easily have driven for 2 hours 15 before we needed to stop if we had more chargers.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
and it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling there that we spent a bit more time roadside eating hamburgers. Salad. Than
salads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bratwurst. That's true. If you're gonna drive around in like 200 k's. An electric car would be challenging, yeah, and so you have to consider the upside versus that, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're in the market for one. So, like for me, who rarely has the chance to do that, and since especially in Norway, electric cars are so cheap. Ish, especially compared to other cars, I would probably accept that like once every 2 or 3 years that I have to stop more often. And also, I would rather stop often and drive fun, have a fun drive, than to like go into limp mode and stay around 110, 130, just to get more miles in. Yeah.
I agree. So we have to talk about the Porsche Charge Planner. I think that if there's one thing we will make a separate episode, I think, just to show a little bit more of the details and show the screen and pinpoint exactly where we think the problems are. We'll do that. We'll make a short one just to explain to everybody. But I would have to say that the Porsche Charge Planner is something that Porsche charges around 500 euros extra for. It's the thing that we relied on. We solely relied on that because that was the real life test that we wanted to do, right? So only when we were in deep shit, we went to Google Maps and a better route planner and so on. But this product is, there's no better description than to say that it's absolutely utter garbage, useless crap. It just doesn't work, and Porsche shouldn't release it. But it's at the same time, I just want to hurry up and say that it's so easy to fix this. It's so easy to just make the software better, to improve it, give more information, make sure that you prioritize Ionity chargers. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling here now. Your turn.
No, I just agree. So why take us like 10 kilometers off the Autobahn to some backyard for a charger?
A Land Rover dealership with one charger that is completely iced.
When you have like an Ionity charger like 20 kilometers further down the road, it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, some work needs to be done there, definitely. And it's kind of frustrating too. you get, okay, the first time, yeah, probably a mistake. Second time, and when you have driven around for like 25 hours and you try like in Frankfurt, okay, so the first one doesn't work at the Land Rover dealership. Then we find what was that called on Google Maps? The something.
Allego charger.
Yeah.
That we found
the Allego charger.
BMW dealer
inside a BMW. Yeah. So you get frustrated, and this isn't the way it's supposed to be. No.
I think we can all agree on that, and this is something I think that we have talked so much about this. We have pointed out this problem, and I think we will do our best now to get. We lost you again, Tage. I think we will
Sorry.
we will do our best to get Porsche to say something about this. I think it's fair, and to be honest, I think they should. I mean, we have pointed to this huge gap and problem with the product. And the way I know Porsche, this is my third one. I mean, I have had no complaints on quality whatsoever. It's always been spot on. But the biggest problem we had with the charge planner was, in fact, in Germany.
Yeah, that's strange.
I mean, not even that far from Stuttgart. And finally, I think that let's stop talking about the charge network now, because I think we have pointed at this. But I just want to finally just say one thing, and that is that the car makers that is behind the Ionity network, Volkswagen, which includes Porsche, I think it's Ford, it's Mercedes, it's BMW, and it's a few others. I guess that they have more on their bottom line every year, probably several times more on their bottom line every year than Tesla even has in revenues. And when we stand there and we really need to juice up, and we just need power, and we stand there and we look across the road and we look at 20 Tesla chargers just standing there, almost idle.
Yeah,
it's kind of annoying.
And strange. since all these like car makers at least appears to focus on electric vehicles, there's no, why produce electric vehicles when you can't charge them? So that doesn't work.
It just doesn't work, and it's an area where you have to choose. Either they're doing this slowly in order to make sure that the electric vehicle market isn't fully ready until the car producers is ready to produce the cars. So they do this on purpose just to slow down the development. Or they are not doing a good enough job. So it's one of two, in my opinion. I'm being a bit tabloid here, but still, that's how I look at it.
Just really surprised because, like, I'm back in Norway and there are chargers like everywhere. So it was really surprising to see how far behind they are in Europe.
Yeah. Panamera or Taycan in Spain, what's the best option? Which one do you think I should choose?
I think so. The Panamera is not for a car. It's a really good car, and you can fill it with petrol.
And it makes sense, right?
The Taycan is, I'm not sure. It all depends on your ability to charge, I think. It will come down to that, because the Taycan is really exciting and so amazingly cool. So if you wouldn't have had a problem with charging, I think you would choose the Taycan. But I'm not sure. I haven't studied the options of charging down there. You have probably. So
well, I think that's what decides it. So when we're out of this situation we're in right now, where we have to stay in the house, or at least be around the house, I think that we will test this a little bit more and see where we can get with it. Most definitely. I want to add one more thing. We were almost out of juice, so we needed to go to the store a few hours after we arrived, and didn't put the car on charge immediately. So I had to take the Panamera, and interestingly enough, and I didn't expect this to happen. The Panamera is a 2018 model, so it's the latest interior and the screens and everything. It felt a bit dated. It's so strange.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So I think spending
you
so
should try
much
getting into a 2001 911. Yeah.
I'm much more of a technology guy, so I care about these things. But it was so strange that spending that many hours in a brand new car with all this technology and all these screens, it just gave me that weird feeling when I got into the car that I really think is cool and new and fancy just a week ago.
Yeah, but the interior in the Taycan is really nice, and it's a good place to be and spend a lot of time. And the Panamera is good too. I know, but maybe something about the whole feel of the Taycan, which is really modern and kind of sci-fi, with the perfect details, perfect sizes of the screens, and just everything. The quality is so good. I'm talking about the car, not the things that goes on in the navigation system. Everything, it's just well built and with the perfect final touches. So it's a good place to be.
Absolutely.
Let me know the next time you need a road trip, buddy.
Yeah. So that would be when the Taycan goes home. Are you interested?
I'm not sure. I can take it from
Germany.
Germany, and from it could work. I would obviously keep below 70 in Spain.
Yeah, I understand that. I to be honest, I haven't thought too much about this myself, but I did say that I would like to invite Oliver Blum to drive the car home, the CEO of Porsche. So let's see if it's sporty, and we'll do that.
That would probably help on the charging network.
Maybe he gets them installed even before he drives, right? Yeah. So, Oliver Blum, you ready?
Yeah.